I used to go on stage, like, I have a bad knee, and, like, I would go on stage with a cane sometimes. And I was like, I wonder if this will, like, get me that pity laugh.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, look at that guy. He had a hobble up there, you know. But then, like, the next day, the weather would change and my knee would feel okay, so I couldn't do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'd feel really bad if I was like, yeah, no, sometimes I need the cane. But, yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe a neck brace. What do you think?
Yeah.
The holidays are a lot of work. Let's not dance around it. I mean, it really is a lot of work.
It is.
That's why these e-cards are the way to go. Do you think you know what that is? We just email someone, like, you could have just said, like, happy holidays, but no, it has to be some elaborate code that you have to enter.
Yeah.
You have to answer 2, identity questions, and then you get to see a Santa and a reindeer. I mean, it's really not. It's a lot of work for nothing. But
Oh, I used to love those e-cards when they first came on the scene in like 1998. Blue Mountain.
I assume you could make it your own, like more of an erotic thing than usual.
Yeah.
Correct? I don't know. I'm not really big on the web, but let's see. Let's go around the room here. Who's local? Who's New York? Anybody? Gridlock in effect coming up.
Jen's local.
Yes.
Jen?
I'm in New Jersey.
There you go.
Yeah.
I consider that local.
Yeah.
So I assume you'll go to Asbury Park, or what would
I do.
What would your Christmas be?
Well, no, I stay like in Somerset by New Brunswick. So
Not
just
bad.
hang out there.
You can treat yourself to a night at the Stress Factory if you'd like.
Yes.
Come early because the buffet, they started at 6.
Dave, what's your holiday plan?
Well, it already passed. Thanks, Nikki. It's Hanukkah.
Yeah, that's right.
So now
Is it
this is really
done?
just a dead space for me. I hang low. I noticed in the lobby there's an elaborate Christmas tree and very tasteful yet practical menorah off to the right.
Is Hanukkah over?
It definitely is over.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It was over about 4,000 years ago, I think. It definitely never really got the same power it used to have. I don't really celebrate the holidays. Of course, New Year's. I work on New Year's. Do you work on New Year's?
Yeah. I'm going to be in Providence.
Yeah, I'm at Cincinnati. Go Bananas.
Yeah. It's Sarah, you working New Year's?
No, I'm
What
going
are
to
your
go
plans?
see Margot Price.
Who's that?
Oh.
Some country singer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where?
Somewhere in Brooklyn. I forgot. Joe got the tickets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I wish I could just, I don't know. I always get scared that I work all the time because I'm scared I'll have no fun plans. And so that's the thing.
Do you get that moment of loneliness where you just did the show and then it's the countdown and then everyone's kissing and hugging and you're just standing there talking to the owner of the club? It's a sad time.
About your numbers.
Yeah.
It's such
good.
it's the worst is when you do a whole show and then your show ends at like 11:48.
Wow.
And then the MC has to go back out. I've done this a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Have you never had to do the countdown?
Yes.
I come back out on stage. Like the MC comes back up, does some buffer time. I don't ever know why I can't just end it and do the countdown and then say goodnight. But
I
I've
never
always,
had the buffer.
I'm
I've
always
had to just
brought
do it.
back up.
Yeah.
And
I
then
just had to do
it's
it.
so
Yeah.
awkward. And then like you said, everyone's kissing, everyone's celebrating, and I'm like hugging the MC
Right.
and trying to give good friend vibes
I
to him.
understand.
That is the portrait of a comedian right there. Like that's the best. Like what do you call it? Allegory or whatever.
I
don't
don't
know.
think I've ever kissed someone on New Year's Eve.
How about this? They pay you extra to do the countdown. Like that's like a negotiation thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I won't do the entire countdown. I'll come in. I'll come in on a hard 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can let the opener like kind of get it going. You know.
I would love to do
I
that.
also do it in. I do countdowns around the world. I like to watch as a New Year's Eve around there and do it in their language. Yeah.
Where does it start?
I like a nice
New
woke
Zealand?
New Year's.
You are busy that whole day, just counting
Oh yeah,
down.
absolutely. Can't get me away. But yeah, that's a tough night. I'd say that's the worst night to be a comic is New Year's Eve. That's the worst one.
Yeah.
The second one would
Halloween?
be Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Halloween, yeah, but that's like some places it's a party, some places it's a train wreck. But it's usually like no one expects that much on Halloween. You know?
Okay,
but New
what
Year's
about
Eve they do.
Thanksgiving? Why Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Why?
Because it's all families there, and it's always that weird, like, you know, it's like, you know, you're like, they'll always tell you, like, there's a lot of kids home from college, so it's going to be a wild show. But it really just turns out to be, like, you know, people bringing their old relatives out because they have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
Would we all agree on that one or no?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I guess I don't really work that often on Thanksgiving, but even just the days around it, it's that's
true.
similar vibe of like, it's
Yeah.
all kids from back home, they're all drunk, and it's usually just families
It's tough.
begrudgingly.
It really is.
Yeah. What do you do? I have.
Wait, I have more dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor, December 7th is not that good for me
Arbor
either.
Day, brutal.
Arbor Day, it's a touch and go kind of way. I would also say, just Wednesday is never really fun. Any Wednesday.
Any Wednesday is like really bad for comedy. No, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's another one where you just feel lonely and like, what am I doing? And they don't even want to really be. It's not like a good. It's not necessarily a good. There's not first dates there, but there are. I don't know.
And is that a really romantic night out?
Yeah.
I mean, I never really understood that. Like, it's like we love each other. Now let's go watch, a comic. I really know. I could see if it was a musician or something like that. It's a little different.
But yeah, it is weird.
Comedy, I'm always perplexed why people bring first dates to comedy shows because although it's what I do for a living and I think it's a great form of entertainment, it can be awkward for a first date.
Sure.
I
It
think
brings
so.
up subjects that you just don't want to get into yet. You don't feel comfortable. Like even me, I would not feel uncomfortable laughing at certain things next to a boy I might be trying to impress.
Really?
Or like, if it's something gross or it's something a girl says something on stage that's really disgusting about shitting her pants and I relate to it and I laugh, then this guy is thinking about me shitting my pants, and that's just not something I want to have on a first date.
Yeah, but he probably is also on his best behavior, so he's probably, like waiting to see if you laugh at it, and then he'll laugh at it.
Yeah. And then
So,
it's like,
you won't think
why
he's a creep.
Bring that energy into a first date of having to even.
So what's the alternative? What are you thinking? Trap room or, pick your own adventure?
God, those escape rooms. I can't think of anything worse.
Well,
No-
Nikki, I really love that you came on the Bumping Mics, and it was so cool to see you in LA. I grilled her about like living in LA because you lived there for a while.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I thought it would be like a wild party, but it's just like stressful, It's like
It was.
it's a lot. Did you guys ever live in LA or anything? No.
No, did you, Sarah? No,
I
you
did for a year.
Okay, and
Yeah.
how was your experience?
I was an alcoholic that whole year.
I told Dave
Oh,
the
that's
same
good.
thing. That's what I did.
That's
I
cool.
drank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like have you ever like like there's one thing like moving to LA, like with all the hope and promise, and then moving away from LA. I think people should make more of that.
Yes.
It's like I'm done with this town.
Yeah.
Like they should be able to do a rant at the airport.
You should be able to like tape an exit video, like you're leaving Big Brother or something. Like, this is great. Like you should have a final. That's a good idea.
Were you excited to get out, or were you?
Well,
like,
I've been back twice now.
Yeah, you
I
seem like-
I moved initially. I moved there right out of college, no money, and I was babysitting and temping. And then I got on the Tonight Show, and after 3 years of being there, I was on the Tonight Show, and I thought everything would change, and I was still broke. Nothing changed, and then 2 months later, I had to move back home to St. Louis to live with my parents.
Oh.
And then I moved back there when I had a TV show, so it was a different experience, and I was sober. But when I was living there initially, I was drinking so much every night, and I was driving home I was flirting with a DUI. That's why I really had to get out of that town. I did not have $10,000 to get a DUI. I was driving buzzed 1 block home from Residuals, the bar
I know that
in
bar.
the Valley, where you can go and bring a residual check under a dollar.
Oh, you lived in the Valley?
Yeah, I lived in the
Wow.
Valley. But it was just, I'm so lucky I got out of that town without a DUI because that was just, that was in the works for me.
Hey, you know what? I think that's good that you got out of there. New York is a more drinking-friendly town.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God, it was amazing to come here.
Yeah.
And you haven't drank for a while though, right?
No, decades now. But
Decades
I was
now?
wondering like why you picked to come back east instead of like going like, you know what? I'm in LA already. Let's give Hawaii a shot.
I think about it. Well, because there's.
Good morning, Maui. You could have been like the host of that show for a while and then like worked your way onto the new Magnum PI. There's a lot of like shows out there.
Dude,
NCIS, Pearl Harbor, whatever it is. Can you imagine the people who were on like these TV shows there and they're like just like hanging out, like waiting for the next one?
What do you mean? Like the shows that
In
shoot,
Hawaii.
they're like
The actors
Lost
and
and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, like Lost, exactly.
I
That's
think it would
what
be
I was looking for.
amazing to be out there Well, then you just
Me?
come back to like to be out there shooting a show, to live in Hawaii. My dream
You would like
is
that.
I would love to get on a show and go be forced to live in Vancouver or Denver or
Are you a beach person? I thought you didn't like
no,
the sun.
not at all. I would
Oh.
never even go out in the sun, but I want the opportunity to live other places than New York or LA. Like
Okay.
just for a couple months.
How about
at a time.
England? Would you do that?
Sure. I haven't been there. What's your take on it over
I was
there?
there years ago. I think it's more of a Hollywood England now than it was when I
Oh,
was
yeah?
there. Now it's like they're like everybody there is like on our TV shows or hosting our TV shows. So
Yeah.
it's really probably the same thing. But I heard a lot of comics love it. It's like a really good place for comedy. So maybe that's the way to go. I don't know.
Do you like what I get this all the time, but like where are the best crowds? Like, what's your favorite city? I hate that question, but I feel like you might have a good answer to it.
I don't know. I seem to do really well in D.C., and I think
Yes.
that's both as smart. You get like the people from Virginia, and you also get the D.C. people. So
Yeah.
it's like a good mix.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
good
we all
point.
agree. San Francisco, that area still has like a good kick to it. Like when you get out of the IT world,
Yes.
and like that used to be like a real like incubator of great comics,
Uh-huh.
So I still always have like a soft spot for SF and
Yeah.
that area. But
Yeah.
I would say, anywhere where I can actually get like a crowd, like Hilarities in Cleveland, I always do really well there, and
It's
they're usually
good.
a really cool crowd. Not as much moaning and groaning. I'd say that New York and LA are the most sensitive of the towns, so it's
Sure.
tough to like work on new material here. But
Is it the
still
tourists here?
I really don't know. I think it's like a combination of just like a lot of people were working all day long, and it's hard for them to turn off their filter
Yep.
to really like get it. But then there's people who come from all over the country and they want to hear like New York comedy. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a hard balance. What do you guys think?
I think LA, it's just, I mean, we were at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah,
on
that was a
Saturday
good
night.
show though. You killed it.
It was a good show, but it was like, we were talking about it. It's like, there is no audience like that anywhere else. It's
Right.
in
That
LA,
LA
or-
audience,
it's,
They're pretty spoiled because they do get a lot of celebs. Like if you go to the Comedy Store, like within 2 hours, you'll see like 5 great comics.
yeah, they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
spoiled. That's
Yeah.
a good point. But I always say about New York, it's like, you become a better comic here, not just because of the stage time, but because you have to follow, and I always give your name. You have to follow people like Dave Attell, and you watch him, and you're like, well, I got to step it up. Whereas in LA, you're following like really famous, good comedians, but people are a little bit more just like phoning it in, just kind of messing around. They're not bringing it as hard as New York comics. And here, you just have to you go. I can't unless I try super hard. I'm not gonna be able to follow Dave Attell in any way, and so it forces you to become better.
Yeah, but you're killing it. And like
Because
in
of
New
you.
York, the good thing about it is like it starts so much later. Whereas in LA, which is what I hate the most, it's like, hey, we got you some spots tonight. What time? It's like, okay, we got an 8:30. I'm like 8:30.
Yeah, you love
Man.
the late spots.
I love it like later, so you can do like
Yeah.
everything else and get a sleep in and all that. I like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it early.
Yeah,
no.
you always close out the shows at the side. I'm like, how does he?
I don't close them out anymore. I'm lucky. I don't have to do that anymore.
Well, you come in pretty late though, but do you?
Yeah, I like to do like the late show, but that used to be the coolest show. Now I'd say that's just like you really do get like it's a grab bag. You never know what is a good show anymore. Like who's going to be the crowd that kicks it. Sorry.
I know it is all over the place, but there's so many rooms there now at the Cellar. That Fat Black I love.
Yeah, that's great. That is cool.
And then the Village Underground, it's like I love that. That can be so hot
So
too
good.
with the
Well,
music and everything.
Here's a town that I'm sure you've played, but there really is no club. Is New Orleans.
Yeah.
Have you played there?
Yeah, I've done like a rock venue there, but no club. Why
yeah,
is
there's
there
no
no
club there. There's just too much other
Yeah, it's
entertainment
like-
down there.
Yeah.
And let's not dance around in voodoo. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of weird, never interview with a vampire, kind of never have a laugh house in this town. But yeah, no, there's just too many other things going on. But that would be a cool place to go. Like when I played the Comedy Cellar in Vegas,
Yeah.
that was cool. I was like, that's great that they have a venue here because Vegas
Yes.
was another place where unless you could sell out like 2,000 seats or
Yeah.
you work with a tiger, like there was no in between in
Yeah.
Vegas, really. It was just like either like horribly sad comedy or like big arena comedy.
Dave,
Yeah?
how do you keep track of all your jokes? Where
Well, that's an interesting point.
Yeah, like what you have so many, and there are so many that I bring up to you all the time. I was like, that one, do you ever do that? And you're like, oh, I haven't done. Like, do you write them all down? Like, where do you have notebooks? Do you have them in your phone?
Well, I have two people that work with me. One handles my jokes. The other one handles my zingers. So I have them with two different phones. No, I used to do the Notebook like everybody else.
Sure.
And then I still tape every show, but I cannot honestly say I listen to every show, and that is really the most painful thing to do.
Yep.
Is to listen to your horrible jokes doing horribly in a place somewhere you don't even remember. You're like, what? Where was that?
I know.
And that to me is like the real work of comedy, is listening to your tape. But yeah, I like have. I don't do the notebooks anymore. I write them down. But really, it's more about like, when I look at my work on sheet, which is like, these are jokes that have not been working for years. I look at them and it's like, oh man, I can't believe I still haven't gotten a vitamin joke,
Yes.
And then like when I get one, I'll use it and then it'll stop working and I have to go back on the work on sheet.
Yep.
So that sucks.
Yeah, the work on sheet. I don't even have that actual sheet, but we talk about it all the time. It's the joke you do on stage and you go, oh, that's been a placeholder. That punchline has been a placeholder for 6 years, and I've always been like, think of something more specific and better, and you just never do, and it's always just a C.
Yep, because
Yeah.
like in your brain, that is like now the stop of that thought, and like
Yes.
it's really hard to take it out of there. And sometimes you're like, oh, maybe if the joke bombs, if I can make it bomb, and then that'll activate something else in my head.
Yeah.
But I notice with the younger crowds now, like they're kind of joke averse. Like if it's too joking for them, they get all whatever. But if it's too like raw, they get all like nervous and all that stuff. So it's kind of like this fine line. But I will say one thing is that in LA, like tags, don't bring them.
Really?
Like for some reason I hit like 3 shows where I was like doing tags on jokes and they're like, we already laughed at your joke, dude. Move on to the next thought. I was like, wow.
That's interesting. I never thought about
But
that.
that was just
one
probably
before.
me.
No, that's probably a thing. I think you're so right though about they want something in between of like set up punch, like something that they don't like to see the work in it. They don't want you to just essentially
Yeah.
read a tweet. But if you share something too raw, there's been times where I'm like, something happened yesterday, and it literally yesterday. We always say yesterday, but it's not
Yeah.
yesterday. And they can sense that it was like, they're like, we can smell the jizz on you, or like of
Oh.
this story. You know what I mean? Like
Don't
you
they
haven't
like that?
showered since that joke.
Yeah.
And they're grossed out, and I'm almost like, do you guys want me to give you more distance from that and say it was last week as opposed? Because if it's too raw, that you're right, they like kind of recoil.
It doesn't even have to be like salacious stuff.
No,
it could
of
just
course,
be
yeah.
like, just something like inappropriate, and they'll like, I can just feel them pulling away. But
Yeah.
what do you guys think?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they'll recognize that maybe I'm too angry if it's a personal where
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it
usually
doesn't
they're like
read
that.
funny. It just sounds like you're just bitter.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really tricks them. I've found if you just like laughing at your own jokes. I know it's like the most repulsive thing to watch a comic like enjoy their own set, but like it really does trick audiences into
Oh,
liking
yeah.
you more. It's such a trick.
Until now. Let it out. Any other game cheats you want to let go?